So, what could possibly connect an ancient queen living in a tyrant's palace, a prophet raised literally under the nose of his greatest enemy, and one of the most miraculous births in all of human history? The answer isn't just something you'd find in a history book. It's actually a cosmic battle, a deep, metaphysical struggle between two primal forces, light and fire. And the craziest part? The whole thing pivots on a single, powerful prayer.
Okay, so this is our central clue. It comes from Asya, the wife of the infamous pharaoh. Now, on the surface, you might think, okay, it's a plea for escape. But look closer. Really look at the words. Save me from Pharaoh and his deeds. See? This isn't just about getting away, about changing her physical location. This is a declaration of severance, a spiritual cutting of ties that would literally echo across generations, creating a shield for a sacred lineage against this incredibly corrupting force. All right, so here's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to trace this incredible story. First, we'll unpack this whole cosmic battle between light and fire. Then, we'll dive deep into what Pharaoh's power really represents. We'll see how one single prayer changed everything. And finally, we'll follow that protected lineage it created all the way to a divine word that was completely untouched by fire. It's going to be good. Okay, let's jump right in. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't your typical good guys versus bad guys story. What the Quranic narrative is showing us here is something much deeper. It's a metaphysical conflict between two fundamental principles, two completely different states of being. You've got light, which is born from submission, and then you have fire, which is born from arrogance. And this table really breaks it down for us, right? Let's look at the fire column, the one represented by Pharaoh. Where does it come from? Arrogance, simple as that. And its progeny, its legacy? Literally nothing. Just a preserved body left as a warning sign? Now contrast that with the light column. Its origin? Submission, faith. And its legacy? We're talking prophets, we're talking the very word of God. I mean, the difference couldn't be more stark. So, to really get what's going on here, we have to stop thinking of Pharaoh as just some guy, just a historical king. In this spiritual map we're exploring, he's so much more. He's the archetype of fire. He's the human embodiment of the specific kind of cosmic energy. And there's a term for this. Nar al-Kibr. It literally means the fire of arrogance. But let's be super clear here. We're not talking about actual flames. This is a metaphysical state. It's like a spiritual combustion that's fueled by pride, by rebellion, and by the absolute refusal to acknowledge anything higher than yourself. So what does this fire of arrogance actually do? Well, at its core, it's a rebellion against the divine order of things. It's all about consuming and dominating, not nurturing or creating. And yeah, it's powerful, for sure. But here's the catch. It's ultimately sterile. It can't produce any true, lasting spiritual life. Its lineage is basically a dead end. And that's really the crucial point right there. Fire is a consumer. It just takes. It burns through resources, it burns through people, it burns through potential, but it leaves nothing behind but ash. It has zero power to generate a true, righteous lineage.
And this right here, this is the perfect illustration of that. This is the final outcome for the archetype of fire. Pharaoh's preserved body is the ultimate sign of this dead-end principle. You have a king with no spiritual heir, a power that just ended with him, preserved for all time as a warning for anyone who follows that path of arrogance.
But right in the middle of all that consuming fire, a completely different choice was made. An intervention happened, and it comes in the form of Asya's prayer. This is the pivotal moment, the one that completely alters the entire cosmic story. So let's look at this prayer again, because the exact wording here is so important. She's not just saying, hey, can I get a nice place in the afterlife? No. The plea, save me from Pharaoh and his deeds, is an active present tense demand. It's a petition to be fundamentally, and I mean ontologically, separated from the entire domain of Pharaoh. Not someday, not later, but right here, right now.
Basically, her prayer becomes this divine decree of separation. It's an act of her own will, perfectly aligned with the divine will, that just cuts her spiritual reality clean away from Pharaoh's. She's choosing her allegiance. She's choosing the domain of light, even while she's physically trapped in the house of fire. Incredible. You can almost think of it like this. Her prayer creates a metaphysical hijab. Now, that word means barrier or veil, and in this context, it acts like a spiritual shield. And I want to stress, this isn't just some poetic metaphor.
The way the story unfolds, this is treated as a real, tangible spiritual reality, a protective shield that's going to have some massive consequences down the line. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. On one side, you have the wives of Noah and Lut. They were literally right there, next to prophets, next to the light. But their inner allegiance, that was with fire. So they nurtured betrayal. But then you have Asya. She was right there, next to a tyrant, next to fire. But her inner submission was to the light. And what did she nurture? Faith. And her prayer? Well, it built a future. Okay, so how exactly did this shield work? Let's follow the thread and see how this all builds. Because this spiritual barrier, it didn't just protect Asya. No, it created a protected space, a safe zone for the lineage of light to continue, even in what you'd have to say is the most hostile environment imaginable.
And this verse, which is about the infant Musa, Moses, it's staggering. Think about it. He is literally placed into the hands of his enemy, Pharaoh. And yet he's promised this incredible divine protection at the highest possible level, to be brought up under my eye. And this is the direct result of Asya's prayer. That spiritual barrier she put up is what allowed for this unbelievable paradox. Light, in the form of the prophet Musa, was being nurtured and protected right inside the very heart of Pharaoh's domain. It's like a miracle of divine insulation. So this timeline here, it lays out the entire metaphysical chain of events. It's like a spiritual domino effect, really. It all starts with domino 1. Asya's prayer creates the shield. That knocks over domino 2. Musa is raised pure and protected right in Pharaoh's house. That purity then continues to domino 3, where Miriam inherits this now purified spiritual lineage. And all of this just sets the stage for the final incredible outcome, domino 4, the birth of Isa, the pure word from this protected line.
Now, check this out. Here's a crucial piece of evidence that ties this whole thing together. In the Quran, Miriam is called the sister of Harun. That's Aaron, Moses' brother. But wait, centuries separate them, so this can't be a literal biological thing. It's a spiritual title. It's linking her directly to the purified prophetic family of Musa and Harun. It's basically the text's way of stamping it, confirming that she is the direct inheritor of that protected spiritual space that started all the way back with Asya. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the ultimate purpose of this entire centuries-long divine plan. We are right at the finish line now, about to see the incredible culmination of Asya's single act of faith.
You see, when the angel comes to Miriam, the promise isn't just for a son, it's for a pure son. And that one little word, pure, is everything. It's not a random adjective, it's not a coincidence. It is the direct fulfillment of the divine protection that was set in motion generations earlier, with that one prayer inside Pharaoh's palace.
Miriam's spiritual purity, her state of tahara, is the direct metaphysical fruit of the shield that Asya put up. That's the whole point. The lineage was kept clean, the vessel was prepared, completely insulated from the spiritual corruption of fire.
So here it is, the big takeaway, the culmination of this whole story. For the pure word of God, Isa, to manifest, it required an equally pure vessel. And it was Asya's prayer of severance that created the necessary spiritual conditions, that protected lineage, that made Miriam's purity possible. Her single act of faith is what allowed the divine word to take flesh, completely, totally untouched by the fire of arrogance.
I mean, it's just this breathtaking tapestry that connects faith, prayer, and destiny across centuries. And it really leaves us with a profound question to think about, doesn't it? If one person's sincere act of cutting ties with falsehood can protect an entire lineage for generations, what unseen shields might our own acts of faith be building right now for a future that we can't even see yet?